So HP inflation. So right now there's a big drama thing going on regarding like HP inflation and ZZZ. Some people are like it's a skill issue. Other people are like it's a dev issue. So what you guys think on HP inflation?
Skill issue.
Skill issue, like hey,
No,
I think actually because
I'm joking.
I'm top 100 in the world for Acherons. I just got E2S1, and I'm telling you, the new new bosses, I can't even fight them. I can't
have
even.
E2S1 as well.
I legitimately can't even fight them with my characters.
Yeah.
It is dumb.
Yeah,
And when HP inflation gets that high, at that point, it's not even a skills issue. It's just if you don't have the new characters that can bypass its HP and all that stuff, you just fucking lose.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Like we've already addressed the fact that we know HSR has a bad one. Like we've gone in lengths about that. But I was talking about more with ZZZ because that's that's what people are talking about right now. And I believe it's 53 or 56% HP inflation. 53 or 56% HP inflation.
So the thing about Zenless, because it's an action-based game, they technically have more leeway. Like in a turn-based game, you don't really have much to work with at that point. You can't dodge, you can't like make sure your character's closer, you can't animation cancel, you can't car cancel, you can't
oh my god busting all the moves,
buffer your inputs, so but since you can do that in an action game, this is what I will say. Generally speaking, I don't think that that's a good thing. But practically speaking, this is an issue in Gacha Gaming. Honest with you, I feel like Wuthering Waves has done an immaculate job. I know this isn't about Wuthering Waves.
It's true.
We're comparing combat systems.
Yeah.
Old characters still feel solid in Wuthering Waves right now. Like Gian came out at the very beginning, and he's a beast in Withering Wastes. Like Whimpering Wastes.
Oh my god, they chopped up that name so hard. It makes it so hard to say.
Yeah, Whimpering Wastes, I think it's called. It's weird. But the point is, he's still good in that game mode.
He is awesome. I love him.
Like he's legitimately still good in that game mode.
Yeah.
And if you build him well, you can still use him in Tower of Adversity.
Yeah, he has the most chopped up basic attacks, but honestly, his core gameplay is still phenomenal.
Yeah, and he has his skill has a lot of hits, so it's really good for countering because it's like a multi-hit thing when he dashes. So my point is, the fact that they have to upgrade characters, like I heard Ellen is getting basically like a rework. And so it's just like the fact that exists alone, in my opinion, is just like, I mean, I'm happy that they're doing it.
Yeah.
But the point that I was getting at is there's an issue in Gacha games, and the issue is how do we keep selling new characters?
Yeah.
And one of the ways that they found to do that is power creep.
Yeah. That's the worst way.
We're just gonna make it's an issue, and that issue needs to be solved. And until that issue is solved, this is what you get. You get HP inflation so that they can sell a new character.
Yeah.
Or a new batch of characters.
From what I've heard, Zenless Zone Zero might be on the edge of like destruction with this new character coming out. Like I've heard that she might either define the game or ruin it.
Another character, another one. Didn't we already get that with that chick? What's her name? Miyabi. They're doing it again. Oh man. But like,
yeah, I've heard
that
Miyabi's level, but if she's like over, the game's just done. That's what I've heard.
That's what I'm saying. Wuthering Waves, literally, I know people are like, oh, they're praising Wuthering Waves, but they've literally done many things great. One thing is the power creep. I know there was a thing with a previous drama or whatever where people are like, this Wuthering Waves is Zany power creep the game. Like, there's no real power creep. There's no power creep in the game whatsoever.
And even if the characters get strong, it doesn't affect the game that much. Considering because it's based on story, gameplay mechanics, and just open world. Like if they make Kartithia super strong, no one's gonna blink an eye because she's literally it involves her character. Like it's right, and it's not gonna affect the gameplay that much. Yes, you might be able to defeat like a hologram maybe better, but like at the end of the day, it's PvE.
Yeah,
like,
but like, what my
you can
point
really cry over it.
Yeah, but my point is that there is really no power creep because like the end game content isn't getting increasingly more difficult, and they're bringing up new characters with, you know, stronger, being able to with game breaking mechanics or whatever to clear this increasingly difficult content. The difficulty in the content is the same. It's been the same,
And
right?
the thing about it is too, though, kind of to
Yeah.
what Hero was talking about with like the PGR elements being implemented. One, like I said, I'm telling you, these guys are good, man. Like I'm just being honest. Like, no disrespect to the Zenless Zone Zero developers, they're still getting their bearings, gathering their bearings. To be honest,
Yeah.
Like they're fans of fighting games, which I'm pretty sure PGR's people are too.
Yeah.
But they have PGR to work with for a long time, and it's. Well, I mean, I guess you could say they had Star Rail. I mean, Honkai Impact Third.
This was their first game. I've heard Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like the developers themselves, and
yeah.
whereas PGR has had many years to refine things, the difficulty that I've experienced is mainly within the bosses, which is where you want to keep it, and specifically their move sets. Like, make it harder to actually fight the boss.
When it became an hologram,
harder in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
And that's where, in my opinion, the best way to not power creep something is to make it to where the difficulty is not by giving them more HP, but by making it to where the boss is just more difficult to actually fight.
Same thing with characters too. Not necessarily scaling up, but scaling up their combos and the gameplay mechanics is what really.
And that's how they sell new characters, because the designs are insane.
The combat,
it's not the numbers, because like I said, the numbers are actually pretty streamoned.
Yeah. The numbers are streamlined. Yeah,
they're very streamlined.
I said this before, I'm gonna say this again. From all of like 1.0 to like 2.0, how many people actually looked at the numbers they were doing on their character? No, we were mostly cared about the new characters coming out and the new stories. Like, that wasn't really a big thing, because there's not a big incentive to grow crazy strong. Like, yes, you can clear, let's say like Hazard Zone and stuff like that way faster, or things like that, but at the end of the day, you're going in the open world and you're just fighting echoes and collecting and building your character.
Like, there's no power creep whatsoever. I think I think me and you made a video on it talking about it, but it's like what you're only summoning for is the gameplay. You're summoning for a new combat experience. Like you can, if you want, you don't have there's no pressure to spend.
And you know what it partly helps too? We talked about this, is the ecosystem.
Oh yeah, the ecosystem.
Because it's like there's so many different echoes, there's so many different ways you can. And the reason why I think this is important, I know this is going to sound like a shill stream for Wuthering Waves, I get it, but it's just like the difference is that with Zenless Zone Zero, because it's it's not open world, the requirements are a lot heavier. Because since there's no open world, well, what else do you have? You just have to do the combat, and so people are going to be a lot more hyper focused on ensuring that thing remains quote unquote pure from influences like HP inflation, for example. But since like I said, I think it's an issue that affects all gacha games. In a sense, or like it's a challenge that all gacha games have to figure out. I will give credit to the Zenless developers for, upgrading older units. That's honestly one of the best ways you can do something like that. The question just becomes, well, how much of a difference is that going to make? And right now, unsure. Skill issue or dev issue, I'm going to say it's probably more so a dev issue. Of course, with enough skill, you could definitely still beat it easily, I'm sure. I have no doubt about that. But the question just becomes how many people are going to want to dedicate that much time to doing that.
Spend all the hours to build up your skill.
I agree. Also, div issue. Honestly, I think when it comes to anything involving the main game systems, they should stay relatively the same after you settled into your game. Like Wuthering Waves, after 1.2, I could say like we were kind of getting settled into like what Wuthering Waves was. I think that Zenless Zone Zero, you need to pick a baseline and stick to it, and then work around whatever you need to do for your game. But if the more you change it, the more likely you're going to lose a character. You're going to lose a player in the game. They're not going to want to stick around because things are just constantly changing, and you're just like, well, the stuff I invested in aren't working anymore, so why should I even play this game?
Yeah, I think it's okay if you want to add like HP inflation or something like that in like hardcore modes.
Yeah, there aren't like requirements for
if it's like something that, and that's the thing where like if you have a hardcore mode, and I'm not talking about like a Tower of Adversity, I mean like for Wuthering Waves it'll be like the equivalent of a hologram.
Yeah.
So for Zenless, I know they have like that tower system.
Yeah, I think that's like the end game thing where it's like you're gonna be doing that weekly. I think. Not 100% certain.
Yeah, maybe. I know there's like Shiryu Defense, and I think they reworked some other event that they had as well.
Yeah.
Where you can like be there in person, not with the TVs, which is a great improvement. But then there's also that tower system that you have where like it's in the spot where like you go into like a virtual reality thing. So my point is like if you're doing it for just purely the hardcore modes, not so much, because I don't really consider like the Tower of Adversity a hardcore mode.
Oh, it's not hardcore. It's not hardcore.
I don't consider Shinryu Defense or whatever like a hardcore. That's like the general mode that everybody plays.
General end game.
To get the rewards.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you did it in a hardcore mode that like not as many people play, where you can just kind of, that's where you get to flex basically.
Yeah.
Then that's cool. And not so much not many people play like, you know, it's a diss, but more so just like that only the most hardcore of the player base play. That's where I would say HP inflate as much as you want within reason. Make that more difficult, however you want to make it. Obviously, I'm always still more of an advocate of make the bosses harder to dodge versus increasing HP. Like maybe instead of increasing HP, maybe give them like invulnerability phases where it increases the pressure or something. Like, okay, you can't hurt them now. So it's not like they're making it to where you're not doing enough damage. It's just that like, oh, we've implemented a new mechanic. Like he's invulnerable unless you do this. Kind of like Sentry Construct, right?
Yeah.
Where like he goes in that little mode and he rebuilds his shield gauge, and you have to like use a grapple hook to get behind him and attack him from behind.
Yeah.
So to break it basically. So like little things like that is what I would prefer. But if you have to do something like that until you figured out how you want to situate your
hardcore mode,
power creep, until you figured that out, just keep it in the hardcore mode, keep it away from casual / general mode.
Yeah, and don't lock the rewards behind a hardcore thing.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like that's literally the issue. Like people they're putting this like HP inflation and stuff on things that you're actively going to be doing, that your players are actively going to be doing weekly, right? And they're just missing out on tons and tons of rewards. And sure, it might be like whatever, like a couple of pulls, like 4 or 5 pulls or whatever, but over the course of weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months, it's going to all add up, right? And if you're free to play or casual player, then you are going to be caring about that. But yeah, that's what I think about HP inflation. Do you guys want to add anything off before we wrap up the video?
I think that kind of sums up most of it.
Yeah. So yeah, do you guys want to shout out your stuff?
Yeah, go ahead, Life.
Okay. My name is Life Lessons Gaming. I do story and lore content for a variety of games, gacha games included. Currently doing a series on Expedition 33. If you're interested in that, did a video on the prologue, and I have some videos that I'm working on for the first act. Wuthering Waves, play Chikona's quest because it's amazing.
Yep.
I can't understate that enough. If you're somebody who plays Wuthering Waves and you haven't played that yet, play it. It is amazing. Like legitimately, it's so good. Yeah, and I do Marvel Rivals content as well. But basically, I'm sure my Twitter will be in the description, so you can check me out there, and you'll get all the links and stuff.
Yeah, fire. Oh.
My name is Hero Valraven. I am a newer creator. I'm still kind of getting my bearings. I usually did a lot of new game news as well as gacha game news, but I'm actually switching a lot into anime and then covering really good gacha games, only the best of the best, because we don't have this much time to cover every single gacha game in existence. But for me, I am a big anime creator. I'm actually waiting for my editor to come back, so that's like a big reason why I'm just kind of posting right now. But if you want to check me out, go ahead. I don't stream, but I do post weekly as well as mostly daily.
All right, that's fire. So all their links will be in the description. Like, subscribe, check these guys out. They're very talented. So show support to them. But yeah, take care and peace.
Peace.